Chapter 3, Examination of Formal Requirements. Welcome to your Euro Patent Brief Journey with Baris. We're about to dive into the intricacies of translations of the European patent application. This is an important topic, especially for those filing in non-EPO languages or by reference to previous applications. We will follow the content of the EPO Examination Guidelines. This can be a complex topic, but don't worry, I'm here to guide you through every detail. Let's tackle this together, step by step. 14. Translation of the application. In some cases, a translation of your European patent application will be required. Let's break down the three main situations where this applies. 1. The first situation is when the application is filed in a non-EPO language under Article 14(2). This means that if your application is in a language that's not an official language of the EPO, a translation must be provided. Pause here. Do you know if your filing language requires a translation? 2. The second situation involves applications filed by reference to a previously filed application in a non-EPO language. This could happen under Rule 43. Pause here. Take a moment to reflect. Is your application being filed by reference? 3. The third scenario is when a European divisional application is filed in the same language as the earlier parent application, and that language is not an official EPO language. This is covered under Rule 36(2). Remember, divisional applications must also follow language rules. Pause here. Does this apply to your divisional application? In all of these cases, a translation must be filed at the EPO. For scenarios 1 and 2, this must be done within 2 months of the filing date. In the case of a divisional application, the translation must be submitted within 2 months of its filing date. The EPO will check whether the translation has been filed on time. If not, you'll receive an invitation to rectify this deficiency under Rule 58 within 2 months. Take a moment. Can you recall the time limits for providing translations? If you don't file the translation in response to the invitation, your application will be deemed withdrawn. The EPO will notify you of this loss of rights under Rule 112(1). Now, here's something crucial to remember. Further processing is not available for the time limits concerning translations. Under Rule 43, Rule 6(1), and Rule 36(2). However, you can request re-establishment of rights under Article 122 and Rule 136 if the failure to file was due to excusable reasons. Pause for a moment. Have you checked if you might need a re-establishment request? For Euro PCT applications entering the European phase, different rules apply. Take note if you're working with international applications. 15. Late filing of claims. Now, let's move on to the late filing of claims. Did you know that, to obtain a filing date, your European patent application does not need to contain any claims? However, having at least one claim is still a requirement for your application. This is stipulated under Article 78(1)(c). You can file claims after the filing date, according to certain procedures. Take a moment to think about that. The EPO will check whether your application contains at least one claim. If no claims are found, the EPO will issue an invitation under Rule 58. You will have 2 months to file one or more claims in response. Pause here. Do you have a plan for filing claims if needed? If you fail to file the claims within this period, your application will be refused under Article 95. You will be notified of this decision, according to Rule 111. While further processing is not available, you can request re-establishment of rights under Article 122 and Rule 136. You may also appeal the decision. Pause here. Think about your strategy. Will you need to appeal or request re-establishment? You can also file claims on your own initiative before receiving the invitation under Rule 58. In this case, the EPO will not send a communication inviting you to file claims. Make sure the claims have a basis in the original application documents. This will be checked at the search stage. Pause here. Do your claims align with your original application? For divisional applications and applications filed under Article 61(1)(b), the same rules apply. Take a moment. Does your application fall under one of these categories? 16. Correction of deficiencies. Now let's talk about correcting deficiencies. When the EPO finds deficiencies in your application, you will have the opportunity to rectify them. The most common deficiencies are related to issues like representation, physical requirements, and the request for grant. The formalities officer will invite you to rectify these deficiencies within specified time limits. For most deficiencies, the time limit is 2 months, under Rule 58. Pause here. Are you prepared to correct any deficiencies, if needed? If the deficiencies are not corrected in time, the consequences could include refusal of the application or deemed withdrawal. Pause here. Reflect on the importance of timely correction. Recap and reflection. Today, we've covered the essential rules regarding translation of the application, late filing of claims, and correction of deficiencies. We've explored when a translation is required, how to file late claims, and what happens if you don't correct deficiencies on time. Take a moment to reflect on these procedures. In our next session, we'll dive deeper into Part A, Chapter 4 of the EPO Examination Guidelines. For now, take a deep breath and review today's material. You're making excellent progress. Keep up the great work. Remember, the key to mastering these details is consistent practice and review. Listen to this content as many times as needed. Thank you for your continued dedication. See you in the next session.